are looking at compasses today, guys, and how to use a compass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through one or two, probably more like one for every page, two if we're having trouble with it. And then tomorrow I will go over some more, whatever we don't get through. And then on the end of tomorrow and on Friday, you guys will be trying some of this stuff on your own. Okay? I do want to make sure, before we get too started, that you remember a couple of things. Okay? This right here needs to go in your notebook or folder. You can glue it, staple it into your composition notebook if you want to keep it all in one place, or you can hole punch it and put it in a folder. That's fine. Okay? I want to make sure, because I heard some people being confused, so I want to make sure you know how to do tonight's homework. A vertex is a point where the side of a polygon meet. A diagonal is a line segment that joins two non-adjacent vertices. A square has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Okay? A vertex of a square is possible to draw only one diagonal. The diagonal will form 2 triangles. Since every triangle contains a total of 180 degrees, a square has a total of 360 degrees. So, number of sides, we're going to just do A together, okay? Number of sides is 4. Number of vertices from one, number of vertices is 4. 4 vertices. Diagonals from one vertices, we can only draw 1. See this dotted line right here? We can only draw 1. Number of triangles formed 2. And since each triangle is 180 degrees, this is a total of 360 degrees. Everybody feel pretty comfortable that they could fill out the rest of this chart now from that? Okay. All right. Now we're going to look at a compass. So I want to talk about some parts of this compass before we get started. So this is what a compass looks like. These are what we'll be using in class. Of course, you can get one at home to use at home. You will not need to. We can do the compass stuff in class. So we've got 2 ends to this compass. If we look at the very bottom first. We've got a very sharp, pointy end. Please be careful. Do not hurt yourself. The other side is a pencil. I would not move these little gears unless something breaks, like the pencil lead breaks or you need to move it up or down, or if something happens with this pointy end. Otherwise, leave those alone. And if you don't know, if like it broke and you don't know what to do, bring it here. So students should probably not be touching these gears at the bottom. This gear at the top, that's what you're going to be moving a lot. So why don't you go ahead and take it in your hand and try moving this wheel in and moving it out. So if you're going to move it up, like move your thumb up and it should get smaller. Move your thumb down and it should get wider. See how that works? Okay. This up here, I often use it to hold it to move my compass around. Okay, let's do some practice first. I want you to take this paper and turn it upside down. So use just the back of your paper. And we're going to try this first. Make it as small or as wide as you want. And we're going to try where we push the pointed end. See the pointed end? I'm going to push that down. And then I'm just going to move the pencil around. And you can grab it from the top. You can grab it from the side. Some of you might want to try moving your paper, holding it still and moving your paper might work. See how I'm moving my paper? But I want you guys to try to make a couple circles. Just make a couple circles. Okay? And then if you've done a couple, why don't you try making yours much wider? So you can make a big circle and try that. Try a nice big one. You want it to be as smooth as possible. I tilt mine slightly and grab it from the top. Okay. Some of you might want to move your paper. Some of you need to grab lower. And then once you've made a nice big circle, why don't you try to move it in real tiny, and we'll try to make a nice little teeny tiny circle. I'm gonna make mine super small. Make a nice little one. How you guys feeling? Kind of comfortable with it? No, it's kind of weird? Okay. Were you guys able to make little circles, big circles? Figure out if you want to move the paper or if you want to move your... Okay. Just make sure you're pushing down on the pointed end, not the pencil end. Okay. Okay, if you're having trouble with your compass, let somebody know. And don't push too hard. Don't like jam on it. Okay. All right. Now, guys, I want you to start. We're going to start with doing these different things. I want you to flip through here and kind of see the things we're going to do with this compass. This first page, we're going to copy a segment down. We're going to take AB and we're going to copy it next to it. Exactly. Okay? We are going to, the next page is copying an angle. The next page, if we look after that, is an angle bisector. Do you guys remember what that means from your definition? An angle bisector means you cut the angle in. Did you give everybody a ruler? I've got some right here, and then there are some above the, if we don't have enough. And then we've got perpendicular bisectors. You guys remember what perpendicular means? Nope, that's parallel. Perpendicular, cross at what degrees? 90. Okay. We're going to do a perpendicular bisector through this point off the line. Then we're going to do a perpendicular bisector through the point on the line. And then we're going to draw parallel lines. So see how this is number 7? So there's 7 different things we're going to do here. Okay? So there's 7 different ones. There should be enough for everybody to have a ruler. Okay. So I know what some of you are thinking, because it says on these we're allowed to use a straight edge. You do not have to have a ruler. You could use a piece of paper to do this. Okay, so if you're ever without a ruler, you can always use a piece of paper. So I know what some of you are thinking, well, if I have a ruler, why don't I just measure it and then move it to the side and copy that? That seems like a great idea in almost any circumstance, but we need to know how to do this to do the next pieces of this, okay? So, yes, I agree with you that that's a better idea. But in this case, I need you to know how to do it so we can do other things that you can't do perfectly with a ruler. Okay? So we're going to throw that away, and when they bring it, just put this in there. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to put it like this on my paper. I want you guys to do this. Now, mine needs to be opened a little bit bigger because I want to measure the segment exactly. So I want my pencil and the pointed end to be at each end point of my segment. Okay? Now I'm going to put my compass now straight up and down to make sure, yep, it is exactly that big. And then I'm going to move the whole thing to the side. And then I'm going to wait here for you guys. I moved it to the side. See how my compass stayed the same width, open to the same amount, and I moved it to the side. Then I'm going to make a little arc. Not a whole circle like we did on the back, but just a little arc. And then I'm going to flip it over where my pointed end is on my mark. See how my little pencil mark right there? I'm going to flip it over and draw another little arc the other direction. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect those two little marks together. And we've created my new. Now when we've copied something, we often call it an image. So see this little line right here by A and B? That means it's image A and B. Okay, now I want you guys to take a minute and I kind of want you to, on the side right here, leaving room because you're going to have to do G and H and M and N, so you can either put it on the bottom or on the side. I want you to write little steps of what we just did. So when you see this, you will remember what to do. So I want you to write little steps on the side, and then I'm going to, in just a second, go over what my steps are in case they're different from yours. So I would say this is like 2 or 3 steps. Just write like step 1, I do this, step 2, I do this. Well, we've got 3 days. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now I'm going to write down my instructions. Okay? So, first, I'm going to write step 1. I want to move my compass so the end points touch the endpoints of the segment. Does that make sense? And I don't want to say I want to make it bigger or smaller because I don't know what my compass is going to look like when I first get it out, right? It could be the last person that could use it could have made it really wide or could have made it really tiny. So I just want to move it to there. Step 2, pick up my compass and move it to the side. I'm going to say, and move it to where I want to make my new segment. Okay. Step 3. Make an arc. Everybody okay with that term? That little arc that we did? That little pencil mark? If you're not, if arc doesn't work for you, you can write pencil mark. Whatever works for you, because you're going to have to do this on your own. Step 4, I flipped my compass. made a new arc. Step 5, connected arcs using a straight edge. How do we feel about that? Good, bad, other? Okay, I'm going to leave it so that either the second half of class on Thursday or on Friday, you guys are going to make your own, copy your own segments. I'm going to leave this and let you guys do that. You guys feel like you could do this again with those instructions right next to it?
No.
Or you could ask somebody for help if that doesn't work? Okay. I'm going to turn the page and we're going to copy an angle. Okay. So we're given an angle. We're going to construct a new one. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is pick up your compass. I want you to put the pointy end on the vertex of the angle, or where the two rays meet. And I want you to shorten or lengthening I want you to move your compass so that it is smaller than that bottom ray you have it set up for. Okay. Then I want you to make an arc across that. I know it's light, guys, but can you see it? Kind of? Maybe I'll move it in a little bit. Okay, now I want you to pick up your compass, but do not move it. It should stay that same length. And I want you to put your compass down and pull out your ruler or a straight edge of some sort. And I want you to make a straight line. Now I want you to pick up your compass. I want you to put the pointy end right on the very end of your segment. And then I want you to draw a nice big arc. So far, so good? Remember, I placed this pointy end on the end point and drew an arc. Now I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to measure the distance between arc and arc. It should be the same as what you have, your compass is. And I'm going to put the pointy end on where it crosses my line, the arc and line cross. And I'm going to make a little arc right here. Make a little arc right there. Then I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to connect the end of my segment and that intersection of those two arcs. And I'm going to connect them. and I have copied my angle. Okay, now I want you to go ahead next to it at the very bottom, wherever you want. Remember, you're going to have to copy these two angles, so leave room for them, or you could put it at the very top if you wanted, wherever you want to put it. I want you to put instructions of what you did. So when you look up, maybe you won't look at this again until Friday. How are you going to remember how to do that? Okay, yes?
Can you do like the same thing you did on page 1 or no?
Yeah, you can start off with the same thing you did on page 1, but remember, this is different. We didn't make this big arc for the first one. We didn't then have to measure it and make a second arc. So I need you guys to write out your instructions similar to what you did on the first one on here. I'm going to give you a little while. Mr. Bergman and I are going to walk around and make sure you're writing something. What's your first step? Yeah. If you have questions, if you missed where I was going, or you're like, I don't remember what step was next, let one of us know. You got 3 teachers in here, so. Okay, does anybody have really good instructions they want me to share underneath the camera? Anybody feel like my instructions are the best? I'm willing to share them. I'm going to pick it random then. Anybody want to volunteer before I steal it? I'm looking for, you want to volunteer?
Need for sacrifice.
Okay, nice. Okay. Layla, do you mind if I feel like yours need a little extra if I add stuff? That's okay?
Yeah, that's
okay. So, Layla has make an arc on the angle. That's pretty clear, right? Your original angle, you're going to make an arc. All that I would add to it is make sure it's smaller than the ray. Okay, then before she draws another arc, I'm going to put a little thing in here. Make a segment. So draw in a segment just with your ruler. Use ruler. Okay? And then draw an arc. All right? And then we are going to, I'm going to put another little one in here. We want to put compass where arc and segment meet. Draw small arc. That's this piece right here where we drew a little arc right there. Okay. Then create the angle, or you could say connect a line from endpoint to arc intersections. Okay, so hers was just fine for hers. If she left it just like that, it would have been fine if that's how she remembers how to do it. I added more to it just so that you guys could see other things you could add, but it could be as simple, like what Layla had was just fine if that's enough for her to remember how to do it. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to stop right now because we got about 4 minutes left of class. So hold on. First, I'm going to stop recording.